Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, hopefully we're all good this time. So we are making a Christmas game, and so this is the art set that we're using from Open Game Art. So we're going to make the Scorpion engine. I've already created a GitHub repository, and I've downloaded the art. I've done some color reduction, so this should be. Oops. Need to reopen that because I used XNView to reduce the colors. So we've got we do have a 16 color PNG now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the purple layer. And then if I go, if I reset to 256 color mode, wait a minute, why is 16 colors there? Okay, so we've got 16 colors. So what? When I deleted one color, why did it still? Oh, of course. So the reason why it kept one color is because it needed a color for the transparent. I'm just going to use pure black. So, because I do want pure black in the palette as, like, you know, the background color, the border color. And that's slightly different color to, like, Santa's outline, so that's good. Oh, and I was supposed to reduce the colors. That's looking better. So if I go image palette, edit palette, we've got a nice 16 colors, which includes black as the first color. And let's override our palette file. Got those are our 16 colors. I'm going to set 24-bit AGA colors, so the colors are a little bit more accurate to what they should be when running on AGA. Some of them are quite, like, you can see the difference quite a bit there. That's I might need to tweak those colors so it doesn't look so drastically different. All right, so we're going to need our we are going to need a tile set, and I might as well just use that as a base tile set. Actually, I don't think I went over the agenda, so so I already said we want to make a last-minute open source Scorpion game for Christmas. We're making it, you know, simple-ish, with, you know, puzzle-like rules, and then I'll be streaming multiple times a day between 30 minutes and 2 hours at a time until it's basically a game. So let's make a tile set. Oh, did I not? Oh, I didn't actually copy it. Okay, so I will put that into our maps. Just call that tile set. Oh, in fact, this should include all those other files as well. So let's open the let's make that really big, like 1, 2, 4, 4. And let's get grid aligned. Oh, let's is that even? That's not a multiple of 32, is it? So of 16. So 1 divided by 16. Okay, so what is 16? 176. Let's lop the top of it. 176 so that it's perfectly aligned to, oops, boundaries. Oh, Paintshop Pro seems to be a bit weird with like moving pixels around. Sometimes, it's hard to see what's actually going on. Okay, so I've got the foreground in there. Ah, actually, we don't actually have our don't think we've actually got that nice purple in there. No, we don't. Okay. All right. So I messed up the sprite sheet. I'm going to have to do that basically again, but it shouldn't take too long. That's what I should have done is created a single file that has all of the colors we want. So I'm going to make that four. Because I didn't realize that purple color wasn't really part of this, or at least I should have had, the sky background in here when I did the color reduction, so that, that color would stay more or less as is. I do need to do the make that 176 so that it aligns to 16 pixel boundaries. What? It's just Paintshop Pro being Paintshop Pro. It's taking a lot longer to get started than I thought it would. Foreground, grab that sky color, and then the last thing we need is we've got the midground. Midground. Supposed to flatten that so that we cut off edge. Okay, so now we've got our base sprite sheet, and I'm also going to save that as our tile set. But we want to reduce that to 16 colors. I'll grab how many colors does it say it has now? 34. So that's about what I expected. So I'll go to XN view. Let's go to that palette, and then we need to use the color depth 16. Zoom in. Oops. I'll just drag around. Oh, I guess that looks alright. So I'll just save that. Let's Let's open that again. How's it looking? Let's change that to a 256 color one. So we've got 256 slots, even though we're only using for 16. Now it's added, it's used sort of that dark purpley color as the background for Santa. I think that's okay. Or at least we're going to see what it looks like in the game. In fact, what I should do now is let's get rid of that. And then I'm going to save that as a tile set again. And we'll get to start making our map, finally. Okay, just going to call that tile set. I think we're only going to have one tile set in the game. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And we want to make an actual map. So let's let's choose a tile set, and then let's call it level 1. Now, I haven't really decided if this is going to be a scrolling game or not. I want it to be like 224 high, and so 16 is 14. So let's go resize map, and then and this is 20. Okay, so 20 by 14. So we'll make basically like a full screen map, and we won't have it scrolling to start with. Do that. Now I may add this as like a okay, I need to. I'm gonna delete. Oops, that contiguous. I'm gonna delete the sky bit from the layers. Let's call this background. And background 2. Now some of this I might make parallax later on, so may delete this, like especially if I'm going to be doing a like a scrolling game. In fact, you know what? I am gonna. Why not? I should do something that looks quite nice and has sort of some demo scene like effects to it. Well, not demo scene like effects, just nice parallax effects and just things that make it look like it's a 16-bit game. Hi, Maxwell. Welcome. You didn't really miss a whole lot because I had to keep restarting the stream. I've only really just sort of started. But basically, we've got this art set from Open Game Art, and I've got some ideas for making it sort of, like a puzzle platformer sort of deal. And so we're just sort of done our color reduction and things like that. So we've got what was a 32 color palette down to 16 color palette. And so I do want this to scroll, so I'm going to make it a bit wider than that. I do want this to be cross-platform, so... Oh! Crap, hang on. I was supposed to delete a bunch of these when I did the color reduction, so that wouldn't have to sacrifice as many colors. But I think that's okay. I can always come back to it, I guess. Um, anyway, so let's oh, I'm gonna need to add another layer. I'm just gonna call this map. And then let's paint some tiles. Um, let's just check that this works. So let's run it in WinUAE. Hello, Indie Retro News. Welcome to the chat. Uh, yeah, I would. Well, if you could feature it in a day or two, that would be really cool. Otherwise, no worries at all. I hope you do have a really happy Christmas. Okay, so we've got a basic sort of like a platformer level. I am gonna. Oh, one thing I do need to do is I need to edit out tile set, and I need to flag some of these tiles as solid. I'm not sure. I might flag some of these as like, like not solid, like platforms that you can walk on, maybe. But for now, they're going to be all solid. Um, there's not that many frames of center animation, but I'll just extract. I'll just copy and paste those 4 frames. 64 by 16. Let's make a animations center folder. So I broadly had this idea for a game in mind that is a little bit like this puzzle game on Amiga called Sink or Swim, which is kind of like a combination of like Lemmings and with some soccer band type elements. But basically, you would have things running around that you need to guide to the end, but also you've got blocks and things that you need to push. Um, let's import our center sprite sheet. So we're going to divide that into 4 and then 1 row. Okay, so we've done our import. Let's create our center idle R. And then a new one, which will be center R. It's just a simple. In fact, I think there's only really 2 frames of animation. Oh no, that there are. Uh, there are 4 distinct frames. I might want to slow down that animation a bit. Well, we just need to pick one of them for jumping. I think 1 and 3 are the same, but 2 and 4 are different because of the back. Let's make one which is Santa jump R. And I'm just going to use that second one. Whoops. Need to investigate why it does that sometimes. Let's Mixers Lab says, I've had a Santa-based Christmas game for a few years, but never get around to making it. I'd be very interested to see if you do get around to making it. Be very interested to see what you do. In fact, if you wanted to add like levels or something to this one, or just whatever, that would be awesome. I am making this one open source. Let's do a Santa full, and then that one's just going to be that one, because that one's got the the sack looks like it's a bit flatter, so it's like it's there's gravity. So jump full. Okay, I think that will work. All of them are already set to auto flip, so let's make our actor. Player center. Hi Flipple, welcome to the chat. That's a good question actually. I didn't even think to check his name. So Zombie Cool is the name of the artist. I can't say I'm familiar with the name, but if I click on his name, we'll see what else he's done. Or they've done. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. Huh. That looks familiar, doesn't it, Flibble? It's like a really lo-fi Contra. Yeah, I can't say I've used this person's art before. Maybe someone else from Scorpion Scorpion community has. This is kind of cool. This sort of Eskimo gaming, because it's like North Pole. Then that might fit. Like if we need more art for some reason, maybe we could grab that. Oh, oh well. Spring. Okay. All right. Well, let's get back to it. So I'm gonna go. I want a platform. Classic. I was thinking of making it so that you can't really control the height of your jump. Let's double that. 16. So that's a little bit. That's enough to jump up one block. Center right. Center direction to right. From there on the grid. Let's jump, walk, full, and it's already set the other ones correctly. Oops, was done with the tile setup. I got. Okay, so let's just add our actor to the map, and hopefully we've got kind of a whoa. Okay, the collision box is a bit broken, so I need to fix that. And some weird things with the flipping. Walk, jump, fall. Ah, I put that the wrong way around. So that's supposed to be idle R, and that's supposed to be idle L. And now let's have a look at our collision box. So our I probably should align center a bit more the center. So that's minus. Might make that minus 10. And I just got to make sure all of them are at that alignment. Okay. Right. Hopefully this will run a bit better this time. Yep. Well, that's looking pretty good, and that's about the height distance, jump distance I wanted as well, because I didn't really want to be able to uh, jump any further than that. So we can jump high enough to get on one, one block up. And yeah, I mean it's very very simple pixel art, but it works for the purpose. And so I want to add some padding to the bottom of the level, so I'm just going to add padding of 2, so we can fall down through it. Yep. Yeah, I'll need to add something for killing Santa when Santa's off screen, but worry about that later. I wanted to put that moon in the screen, since it's very very small. There's a Yeah, that's a tile set with fixed colors. Grab that. You could possibly make this a hardware sprite. It's only, well, in fact, it's let's make that 16 by 16. And, grab that. In fact, I probably should make this a hardware sprite so it's behind everything else. In fact, um, I could use hardware sprites for stars and the moon and things. Let's oh, actually, yeah, we will center that. How many colors are in this? 4. Okay. If I delete the background, how many colors are in it now? So it should only be 3. Great. So I can. I might need to rearrange the palette a bit, but I should be able to use that as a hardware sprite. So if I go to, there's no particular reason for using this as a hardware sprite other than like I can put it in the background, sort of behind everything else, behind the tiles. Call this sky moon. And Of course, because it's a hardware sprite, I don't have to use. I don't have to give up any of these colors, so I'll just. I think it has coincidentally put those three colors it needs down to the end. Let's create our. Let's call this just Anna Moon. Grab that. We want it to be a. Oh, I should put that at the start of the sprite range. And I will change this to only a sprite. We want just channels 2 and 1, and then say this is in the background. Let's make a new actor and score this Moon. In fact, I'm going to turn off all the directions except one, just so we don't have to. It doesn't need to be added a bunch of times. Just go Moon. And that is just going to be a camera lock, and I'm going to say, well, that is, let's try 32 by 32, and then I can either add it to the map or I can add it to my code. I'm going to add it to my code. I'm just going to go level and then spawn actor, and then we want our moon. Yep, okay, so we've got a moon, nothing nothing really to write home about yet. I'm going to add a variable called current level, and so this is going to be used to manage the level that we're actually on, and then I'm going to go start level. That's a variable current level to level 1. Current level. And then go to start level. And I'm going to make it if we fall down out of the screen, then we want to restart level. So just check if I fall through that gap again. Muxus Lab says, has the padding thing been around long? I don't remember it. Dan says it's fairly recent. Okay, so yeah, the padding thing is like it's like the invisible. It's basically an invisible area around the level, and then around that invisible area is basically solid tiles that nothing can pass through. And the reason for that is because um, some games were crashing because like when an actor moves outside of the screen, it's technically outside of the level, and so it's triggering collision events against blocks that weren't actually there. It just thought it was blocks because it was checking random memory. So what that does is that creates, it basically just invisibly expands the level and makes it so the camera can't see that there's two tiles underneath the level that you can fall into. So let me just check if I fall down. Yep, okay, so that's as we expect. Um, okay, what do we want to add next? Got another tile set. one mechanic I really wanted to add to the game was like pushing around blocks, and I thought about we could make it so that these Christmas things, gifts, were blocks that you could push. The problem is they're not really big enough that they look like a block that you could stand on or you could push around, or so they're pretty small. So I'm going to do some really quick and hacky rescaling. So what I'll do is let's move the lid up to here, and then let's expand it out. Okay, it needs to be wider. You could repeat some of these patterns. Let's grab those three and repeat that. It looks a bit ugly, to be honest, but for someone that's a better artist than I am, could maybe fix it up sometime. I guess it doesn't look too bad. It's just a giant ass Christmas box. I might move that a bit further apart and then. Okay. Alright, I guess that will do. Let's put it into. Oh, I'm gonna need something for my blocks. So blocks are I won't need that many. Blocks are kind of like dynamic tiles, and we want this Christmas present to be a dynamic tile. So we want to be able to push it and um, okay. So I'm going to save this as blocks. And I'm going to make a block. So I need to select that image, and then I'm going to put maps with a little block. Oh, actually, no, I should have a folder for blocks. Keep it nice and separate. I'm going to call this block present, and it's just going to have that. It is going to be solid. We will need to have some special code for managing, what happens when we actually push into it. Yeah, I should put that under blocks. Let's put it there so I can push it either side. Yep. Okay, so I can climb on the block. That's what I wanted to be able to do. But I need to be able to push it as well. Sorry, I'm going to need to do some very custom logic for that. So I'm going to need to make a new actor, actually. And before I do that, I need to extract this one image as a frame, as an animation frame. Let me call this misc. And then present. There. Add an actor. actor, and I'm going to call this present moving. So I'm going to have all directions set. Technically, I probably don't need a collision volume for the actual present, because this just represents the present while it's moving. Oh, I should have had a code folder as well, so I'm going to shovel my code into there. And I'm going to call this try push block. And then, so on player collide, we want try block. And I need to put some conditions in there. So we go player X block X. And I'm just going to explain that. I'm just going to say if the player is on the same... it shouldn't be X, it should be Y. So if the player is on the same tile row as the block, and I'm going to go on X 0, so the player is pushing, or actually trying to push the block. Actually, as a final thing, I probably should have it so if player, well, one more condition, which is just player is on platform, and we'll just say the player is standing on the floor, on the ground. So if all those conditions are true, if we're on the same column of, same row of tiles, if we're pushing the control left or right, and if we're not are on the platform, then we want to do one more condition, which is if control actually, before we do that, I can just go level, I want a spawn actor, and I want present moving at block X times 16, block Y times 16. We want to set that block to, we want to just delete that block. Level block set, and then block X and block Y. In fact, I think if I just leave it at current block, and then I'll go if control on X is greater than 0, then we want to go new, and then we want to set our direction to move right, and I'll just change it to an else, and then I'll go move left. And okay, so at least in theory we've got a pushable block. Whoa. Okay, that think I know why that. Yeah, I'll need to add 16. Need to add a need to move it down. And let's see what it looks like now. Oh, too far down. Okay, yeah, too far down. It should be plus 15. Sorry, distracted for a second. Oh, okay, it's because need to add the 8 to it so that it's, yeah, I needed to get that alignment right. Okay, well that's pushable, but that just goes on and on and on. So we want to stop it. We've got. I need to add a code block for stop moving, or see, let's rename this to block stop, and just want to set our level, and then the block set to block present at block actor x16. For that, I might need to adjust that position a bit, and then I just want actor type to none, moving. So I might need to tweak that a bit, and I might also need to tweak that a bit to see what happens. Oh, I missed Casinami's uh, chat earlier. Something to kill Santa isn't a phrase I've heard before. Fair enough. Hey, Upshift. Welcome to the chat. Um, well, we've got our pushable block. It sort of works. I might just it doesn't quite feel right. It might be just something I need to come back to, but I'm just going to try on that first frame giving it a bit of movement. So I'm going to go. In fact, I can do that here. I can go actor um, position, and I'm just going to go actor X plus Control X. So it should push it in 1 pixel. Oops, Control 1X. So it should push it in 1 pixel in that direction. Oh, and there was one other thing, like it stops the center from moving, so I'm gonna have to make it. So this is something fairly new in Scorpion, is because there's a slight, like when I run into the block, center stops for a frame. So I want to say, well, block collision is, if, in this case, it's false. So we don't want to stop the player. I'm going to change the Z order so that present is way in the back. Doesn't quite feel right, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Maybe it's something that nobody will really notice or care about. Okay, so we've got a pushable present, but it doesn't sort of fall off anything yet. So we'll need to do some checks. Actually, I wonder if it's a bit of a cheap way of doing it. But if I change this to CPU platform, I'm not going to have gravity or anything, so it shouldn't just automatically fall down. In fact, I'll set the jump speed and the max speed is 0, so it's not going to fall down. Or no, actually, we'll set these to 1. Now, since I haven't got gravity, I just want to check that it's not uh, okay, yep, still not falling. That is what I wanted, and there is a reason for that. Is because when I go to the block stop, I want to go if condition if actor is on platform. Else, we want to go 16. Okay, so that's set the direction to move down. No. Okay, so that was it's not because okay. I'm gonna turn off I turn off most of those. It's almost okay. It might also be like is that collision box might be a bit wide. If that doesn't no, that's messed things up. Okay, never mind that. What I am going to do is I'm not going to use CPU platform. I'm not going to do any of that hacky stuff. I'm just going to do go level and then get the tile properties. Tile data, and then that will be at factor x16, factor of y divided 16, and then add 1 to that. And then we need our new condition, and we need to do a bit test. So test bit and this is tile bit is solid. Okay, hopefully this will work. This is something that's fairly advanced, and I don't really have any good demos for doing things like that. Yep, okay, well that works. Except it didn't quite align correctly, and I think should have been one over. Moving. Okay, this is a bit of a hack, but I'm just gonna go set position to factor 8, 16 times 16 plus 8. Again, this is a hack, but the point of this is that it should align it to the block tiles, or to the tile coordinates, if it isn't quite perfectly aligned at the end of its push. Yep. Okay, so that's looking good. I better make sure I can actually, make it land on something. So I'm gonna add a map. Yep. Okay. So that's more or less working like what I expected. But I had this other idea where, as part of the puzzle mechanic is that, it can fall down like that, but it I had this idea that if you push something into a gap that had things on the other side, it would get stuck between them. So and so you could use. It's just sort of a unique puzzle mechanic that I wanted to add. So if I run that right now, that other block is just probably just gonna fall down. Oh, that was weird. Did I? Oh, okay. No, I messed that up. That should be. I saw it moving. I saw that gift moving on its own, and it was just because I'd used the actor rather than the block. Okay, so push that down there. If I push that one the other way, yep, that falls through as I expected. But what I really want it to do is to get stuck. Um, so I'm going to make another codeblock list. Convert present to block. Let's just put that there, and then I'm just going to go to convert. And then alright, better make some notes here. So test that the block underneath is solid. if the block underneath is not solid, check that the left and right blocks are, if it has gotten stuck. So I'm going to go, that'll be -1 because I want to check the left. Just repeat that. And then if we get to here, say both sides are solid, so the present is now stuck. And then I'm just going to go base and then go to convert present to block. And I'll make another note. If we get to here, there's the block isn't stuck, it's free falling. There we go. So we got our we have the Christmas present that gets stuck between narrow gaps. So you can use plug gaps like that. That should lead to some quite interesting mechanics for puzzles, hopefully. But there was one other mechanic I thought of as well. We've got this present that's stuck and Santa's big and fat, so Santa should be able to stomp on it to make it fall down. So let's do that now. So we've already got our try push block. Let's add another condition. Go else if player x divide 16 equals. So the player is on the same row and column block. We also want to say if the equals block y -1, the player is above the block. And then one more condition, which is player y speed is greater than 1, which is just the player is falling fast. Oh, and we also need to do our just going to copy. So we still need to check that that there's nothing underneath the block. I'm going to go bit test 0, say there is nothing underneath this block. Now I'm going to need to do pretty much all of that. So let's see if I can pulse change spawn present moving it. Okay, so I'm going to cut that stuff, and then I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to do the opposite of, I'm going to go convert block to present. That's the opposite of the other one, and that just false. Let's put that one back, and I'm going to go, so I'll go sub to convert block to present. And let's do that same thing here. Present to false, and I am going to go. Oh, I need to go sub. No, I just need to do that go sub, and then I'm going to make it move down 1 pixel just in case. And then I'm going to make it set to move down. Whoa. Okay, that was not what I expected. Messed everything up. Okay, so that should be new. Now, I think I know why that is not working. That bit is not working. It's because I've moved the block pointer. So the block X and Y, those variables get moved if I'm doing things like checking tile property. So I need to, I'll need to record that as a variable. Let's try that again. Whoops. Okay, now that's something I'll need to, properly handle. So if we, yep. So that, oh. Huh. Okay. Very random. All right. Well, one thing at a time. In fact, I'm gonna just to make it quicker for testing. I'm going to add a. Then I'm going to add a block that's just in midair, and I'll just. It's basically just to make sure that well, so I can test in a couple of seconds instead of needing to move everything around. Yeah, it's kind of weird and interesting. I didn't expect it to do that. Let's what I will need to do is block X, or we'll call this present X, present Y, and then go set variable present X to block X. And then when we go to here, we want to restore that, so we're going to go block x equals present x. Oh, no, that is very weird. Let's check. Oh, I can't explain that. Hmm. Looks like it's not really remembering where the block is. Okay, that time it was a bit, in fact, that's completely broken, because it shouldn't be pushing it through the... It just seems to be putting it to random places. Oh, wait, no, that's... Okay, so that's weird for one. That should be that. Maybe that was the problem all along. Or one of the problems. Okay, so that is a problem, and that it's like it's not... Oh, that should be +1 to begin with. Just keep making me silly little mistakes. Well, I hope you're enjoying the stream. I know it's a bit esoteric, very different to a regular Scorpion game. I know the problem. Yes, it should be +2 blocks down, because the block underneath it is the the present. So I need to be checking what's the block underneath the present. Is it solid or not? If it's not solid, then I should be able to push it down. Yep. Okay. So that worked as expected. So if I push that into a gap, and then I push that into a gap, and then I stomp on it, and then it falls down. There was one other bug, which was I fall through the gap if I'm pushing right after it. I I might have a solution that might work. Let's clean up this bit of the map, so we don't need that anymore. We don't need that. I'm going to put center on the other side. Oh, did I? Okay. Let me just check that again. So I think if I just push the block. Welcome to the stream art control. Let's just see. Yep. Okay. So that was should have walked across there. That's okay. So what I will do, um, I'm gonna make a new code called present full, and that's going to do two things. So one is we need to set the direction for the actor to move down. I'm just going to go base, go to present full, and I need to put that same code in the where we collide with it. So let's try push block. Let's get rid of that. What we will do is I'm going to go I'm going to go level set tile properties on current tile. Is that what I want? No, I want actor x device 16 and then actor y divided by 16 plus 1. So what that should do is that should, like the position where the block is going to fall into, that should make it solid before it's even finished falling. I may need to do something for the something similar for pushing the block around as well. But anyway, so if whoa, that is not what I expected to happen. I guess I should have expected something like that, but that's okay. I guess that's just a that is a I think that is a scorpion bug because that should just set that one tile property. It shouldn't change like the graphics or anything else. Again, this is quite esoteric. I haven't really done that bit of I haven't really played around with this function too much. So what I'm going to do, one of the things about Scorpion is there's always 1,000 different ways you can do something. So if one approach doesn't work, you can just try something else. So I'm going to have a invisible block here. And I'm going to call this one block temp solid. So we're going to temporarily create a solid block. And so I'm going to say this is solid. It's going to be invisible. And so I'm just going to change that to set block to block temp solid. Didn't actually check to see that it did what I thought it would do. Oh. Okay, well that messed things up a bit more because I think the block temp solid it didn't unset. Yeah, that will be the thing is I haven't got anything to say, turn it back into a regular block after it's finished moving. So let's try it. So if I push that down there, yep. So that's created a permanently solid block. So I'm going to need to fix that. And just going to go condition if this is a block solid, it's not 0, then we want to, oh wait, no, we're going to block type equals, actually I should use it the proper way, I should go block get by pixel, get block at pixel actor x, and then actor y, and then I'll put that into block data, and then I'll add my condition back. I'm just going to go if block data equals block temp solid, and we want to change the current block to none. Okay, so that should work better. Yep. Okay, so that cleaned up the you know, the solid area. Yep. Oh, okay, that wasn't something that I'd expected would happen. Oh, because I haven't I don't. I'll need to check that at my code for checking that the left and right, you know, if I'm pushing left, that yeah, I think that's just that I haven't got any code for checking. Well, if I'm pushing left, just to make sure the thing at the left isn't solid. Before I go to that, I do want to make it so that so I've got I'm going to rename this. I'm going to rename this present down because I want to do versions of this for left and right, and so I'll need to fix that needs to be go sub present down. So copy that into, oops, down. Let's make a present left. And a present right. So if I go to try push block. Okay, so I need to make that one. Let's move right, present right. Oh, that no, I won't use go, so we'll use go to. And that should be present left. I'll just give that a quick check just to make sure that I can oh, that wasn't quite right. Ah, because this is the new actor. Oh, okay, how will I Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to change it on all of these to new X, new Y. And then all I need to do to here, I'm going to go actor, I want to destroy actor, um, spawn a new actor. In fact, I can just copy and paste that, nice and easy. So spawn living, so spawn Xmas. And I'm going to try that, see what that looks like. Yep, so that's spawning it. Oops. Looks like it only works in one direction. I will leave there and push block. Ah, because that's still supposed to be new actor. What? How did I fix that? Right. Oh wait. Whoops, that should be moved. Move move right. Okay, well that should be that should work work nicely now. Now there was that problem where, well, we can push it through walls. We don't want to be able to do that, so I'm going to add a solid block there, and I'll just make sure that if we go to push against it, uh, it doesn't push through it. So I'll quickly check now. Just okay. I just wanted to make sure I couldn't stomp it into the ground. We need to make it so that we'll try push block. Let's go condition if control 1x is less than 0. Check for pushing left. And we just want to make sure that so that will be -2 because we want to check 2 blocks to the left. We want to check because the block immediately to the left is present, so we want to check what's on the left of the present. And we say, well, if it's not 0, if it is in fact a solid block, then we want to return. We don't want to do anything. Let's delete those comments. And we can just turn this one off because if we're not pushing left, we know we have to be pushing right. And then we want to check to the right. In fact, I'm going to add another Christmas block over here. Whoa. Okay, that was... Hey, ProtonFig, welcome to the chat. I am working on sort of a Christmas puzzle platformer. Some weird bugs. I think I know why that is, so let's just fix that. Okay, so that's looking better. Can I push it through the wall? I cannot push it through the wall. That's good. And if I push from the other direction, no, I can't push through the wall. Let's start that up again. Oh, one thing I was going to do is I want to make it so there's a bit of a bounce. So if we jump on a present, I'm going to go player speed, and I'm going to put it to -1. I might want to put it slightly less than that so it doesn't trigger another block push down, but we'll just see what that's like. So let's fill in that gap, and then let's fill in that gap. And if I jump, yep. Oh, that's weird. Why isn't it falling a second time? Should be able to push it right through to the end, or right out of the level. I mean, it is stuck between those two walls, but with the push down, it should. Oops, should fall down further. Ah. What I might need to set up another test scenario. The other thing is, it should be Santa wasn't really bouncing upwards. Let's set it to something ridiculous like -10, so it should just fly off the screen. Might be something to do with this block collision. So if I set that. Yeah, I think that could be it, because it's registering a collision down because I collided with the block, and so that sets my Y speed to 0. Yep. Okay, that does look pretty ridiculous. Freedom Fig says you got a very nice accent. I recognise it any time. My wingman has the same. Oh, who's your wingman? I take it it's a fellow Kiwi, or a Kiwi like me. I mean. Whoops. Okay, well that's stuck in the gap. Can I push that down now? No, I can't. Oh, some of the time I could. It's like the pushing down only works once. So I will need to let's make a test. Let's make a chimney, and then let's block at the top of the chimney, and then Santa. Put Santa up there. We want to get rid of our other Santa. Oh, Serato Fig. I take it they're connected to the Serato music software. Oh, no, that's interesting. It created it further. It created the it further down than it was supposed to. Oh wow, that's really cool. Uh wouldn't mind meeting him sometime. I haven't really used Serato myself, but I used to work at Mains, which is the Musical Audio Institute of New Zealand, and that's defunct now. While that existed, it had a DJ course, and so Serato was the software that they used for that. Thank you, Kemi. Merry Christmas. Um, we are working on a center game. I'm not sure how far I'll get with it. Progress is a little bit slower than expected, but it's admittedly I'm doing some esoteric stuff with because this is sort of almost like a soccer band game rather than Scorpions normally used for platformers and such. Um, I think that was in the wrong place. Let's try that now. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, that's weird. It's only some of the times it will recognize it. Oh, of course, because I got to do a full jump. But I thought I had it turned off so it didn't have Ah, jump, cancel, drop off. Okay, so I need to make a change to my controls. So, because I don't want the player to be able to control the jump height. So I'm going to go player, no, not player, I want to go controls and then jump controls. We want to turn off control jump height. Um, yep, that's looking more like I expected. Just make sure I can't push it through the floor. I can't. Ah, Oh well, is what are you using Backbone? Mega Kemi says we're trying to make a last minute Christmas game here too. Started on it yesterday. Proton Fig says, Eric, do you know ChargeNet NZ? I do not. I'm gonna open that. Oh, ChargeNet.nz. That's I take it that's not a URL. That's a username. One thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make it so that we can crush presents. So uh, if there's a present that's flat on the ground, that it actually destroys it because we want to be able to destroy some of the blocks. I think Kemi says I know Backbone well, so I can make something quickly with it. I know that's fair enough. Uh, yeah, just I think a Backbone is it is very developer friendly, and it's I've seen some really cool things made with Backbone. I do really like the games that Vidi has made with Backbone, like the Tales of Orloth games and Project Leela was one that I thought was was pretty good. It didn't really get that that much Amiga coverage. Um, right, so I was gonna let's make that an else, and I'm gonna say I am gonna say this present is on solid ground, so we want to crush it. Casanova says, if you fellas all knock out Christmas games fast enough, I might even do a Christmas Eve stream tonight from the 1200. Um, hmm. Well, I think if I do, yeah, I'm probably going to wrap up fairly soon, but I'm going to come back in maybe an hour after I've had lunch and a bit of exercise and uh, maybe picking up a last minute Christmas thing if I can. Uh, um, yeah, I'll wrap up the stream shortly, and but I think when I come back, I'll do another 2 hour stream, and then maybe another 2 hour stream after that, and then hopefully I've got something where like I mean I've already got some puzzle mechanics which I think are kind of interesting, um, and then hopefully we can just knock out a simple game with like 5 levels, 10 levels, maybe. Maybe it's something where if one of you guys here on the stream wanted to add some levels, it's like it is going to be open. Well, I will check in everything I've done at at the end of each stream. So if people wanted to play with the source, if they wanted to look at making a level for it, that would be cool to chuck it in. I know actually is Amiga Bill doing a stream and doing his usual Monday stream, or I guess Sunday. Well, for him it's Sunday. But, I don't know. It'd be cool to have something, just a couple minutes that he could put on stream. But I don't know if he's because of Christmas. I'm not sure if he's streaming tomorrow or not. Amiga Kemi says I'll be making my main game Scorpion Engine, but it has no deadline. Oh, that's yeah. I really love to see what you come up with, and Mixel's Lab says, if I hadn't left so many other Christmas things late, I'd do a Christmas skin of Wizonk making fireballs and snowballs and boulders, bigger snowballs. That I, I'd left it way too late, but I had been thinking earlier in the month, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a short Scorpion game jam? It was like the theme was a Christmas demo, and so it could be a Christmas demo of a game you've already made, or like a new game that was just a couple of levels for Christmas, or just anything like those old Christmas demos they would have on cover discs. Go level and blocks to none. Carcinemy says, bro, you need to do a hectic Christmas game that's more of a local theme. Yeah, just about every Christmas game, it's got Santa and it's got snow and all that. I mean, a proper New Zealand Christmas game, it would be in the middle of the summer. You would have, be about barbecues or something. Yes, so Casino says snowballs and crud. It's a good hemisphere. Needs to be barbecue and Bahutakawas. Uh, Mixed Lab says is this year two or three of me failing to finish my creeping me out Christmas demo. Yeah, I was thinking like, weren't you working on a Christmas version of creeping me out, and then like I didn't want to bring it up because like maybe you had released it and I'd forgotten about it, or maybe you hadn't. But yeah, I remember you were working on it. I don't remember actually playing it. Okay, so if I jump on a present like that, it doesn't destroy it. If I do a full jump, it also doesn't destroy it. It should be destroying it. Probably. Oh, it's because. Okay, yeah, I need to reset block pointer. Oh, in fact, I can just go. That's easier. That's quicker. Just go as an X, Y. Whoops. There we go. And have we got an animation that we can use for? I think we've got an exploding present. So we could use that animation to show that our present has exploded, or that we crushed it. That didn't launch the player upwards like I was expecting it to. Why not? I should have put that at the E. Let's try that. Oh, because block collision. Yeah, okay, so I need to cancel the block collision. So with the actual, like, I've just sort of been working on the block mechanics. What I was thinking about is having like again, I think as I mentioned earlier, a game like Sink or Swim that combines like soccer band like mechanics with like lemmings like mechanics. So what I broadly had in mind is like the level exit is the sleigh, and to get to get like to get out of the level, you need to bring Rudolph to the sleigh, and then like Rudolph will fall off things, or maybe like fall into the fireplace if it's you gotta protect Rudolph. Or maybe like these multiple reindeer, and it's like you don't need to save all of them; you just need to save one of them, or one or two of them. So that's one side of it, was getting uh, Rudolph um, or getting Rudolph to the sleigh and then riding the sleigh to get out of level. So that was one puzzle aspect I wanted to add. The other was the more Soccerman like thing is you've got these trees and you've got to push there has to be a present at each tree. So there might be some like bits that have like like chimneys, and you have to work out how to push the present down the chimney, and then once all of those are done, then you can get Rudolph to the exit and then ride away. So that's a general idea I had. I think with those block pushing and block destruction mechanics, and the block getting stuck between things, I think between them there will be enough variety for a few different levels of a game that's not an obvious rip off of any other game. Just enough variety with the mechanics so that it's a bit of a novelty. Um, so the last thing I will do before wrapping up the stream for now is let's grab this present destruction animation. Let's put this down as I'm just going to call it present destroy. I need to import that sprite sheet. How many frames were there? I think there were 6 frames. There were 7 frames. Oops, put that in the misc. And then let's make anim present destroy. Let's just add all of those, and then at the end, when we're done that, we just want to destroy it. I'm going to align that the same way. Boom. Perfect. Let's add an actor for that. I'm going to go present destroy. And in fact, I'm going to turn off all the directions except I'll leave that one on. I'll turn off all the other directions. I am going to go and press destroy. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, of course I didn't. I completely forgot that this is a smaller present. I'll fix that later. It's just 2 frames need to be changed to the right size. So if I go to that in present, we'll grab that code and then paste it into here, and I'm just going to change this to present X because the block X and block Y might have moved, and we don't want present move, we want present destroy. Yep. Okay, so we can destroy presents if we jump on them. Boom. And I'll just make sure that I can push that through. And yeah, so I think this is that's most of the block mechanics that I wanted. Oh, I should add some padding to the left and right so that I'll just do that quickly because I don't want the yeah, I'll add it to the top as well. Add a little bit to the left and right so we can push we can push the block off the side there and it doesn't get stuck against the screen. So I think that's a reasonable start, and I will be back after I've had lunch and things like that. I'm going to do a check-in. So everything I've done so far is all what this is all open source. I still need to properly credit the zombie cool and the artist and the readme. I'll do that at some point. Just go center game first check-in. Do feel free to if you wanted to download it and then experiment with a level could look like this or that. But otherwise, I'm going to be back in a couple of hours or an hour or two, and then I'll do another round of. I will start on adding. I'll start with adding the Rudolph mechanic. So I'll make it so you've got to get on the sleigh to get out, but you can't get on the sleigh until Rudolph is at the sleigh, and then you have to do something to make sure that Rudolph can get across the level without like falling to his death or falling into this fireplace. Okay, well, thank you all for coming by. I hope I see you all again in an hour or two. Though I know for the northern hemisphere it's getting late. Not the northern hemisphere. For the western hemisphere it's getting late. For the eastern hemisphere it's still the middle of the day. I need to see who is raidable. So let's see who I can raid. Oh, Ashseed High is on, so I will raid Ashseed High, and I will hopefully catch you all later on.